Hey there ladies and gents, Pops here. Welcome back to Simple Midwest in Farming Simulator 22. We are still in August, mid-morning. We have still got a lot to do in August. Our next job is going to be quite a lengthy one. I'm figuring sort of in real life 3 or 4 hours maybe. Because we need to get the grass off this field. So this is a case of cutting, windrowing, gathering with the forage wagon and delivering to the multi-fermenter, this thing here. We'll then actually need to go from here with some of the material to sell it to get some money in the bank, which we are going to need. The other thing we need to set up is the wheat field, which is beyond that field, so we will need the combine and a trailer taking up there as well at some point, because that also needs to be done today. Whether it gets this done whether it gets done in this episode or not is another question, but it certainly needs to be done in August. So, without further ado, let's crack on. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to invest a bit more in our grass care equipment. Mainly to try and make this process a little bit quicker, especially when we need hay, which we will be taking off the other grass field. So what I am going to do, if I can find it, swather pack, that's what I want. So we are going to buy ourselves one of these. Don't think it really matters. Well, it doesn't really matter. Heston. We'll go Heston. Buy. We need the conditioner and mower. Make that Heston as well, just so it all blends in. And we're also going to go with the okay, I'm not entirely sure what that means. Let's just go with the standard. Buy that. Okay. We'll jump in here. If we've just bought the wrong header, we might need to revisit that. That up. Luckily we've got big wide roads here. We don't need to be worrying about the size of the header. What we do need to worry about is where our swath is going to appear, right, left or in the middle. It's a bit loud. Probably in the middle is fine. So first thing we need to do now is let's just make sure we've actually bought the correct thing, and this is going to work for us. So, lower her down, start her up. That, my friends, is a thing of beauty. Okay, so the only thing I need to do is just check how do we so Control Y. And there we go. Beautiful. So we'll take this round, do a headland. Let's get rid of that. And then we'll start working with the forage wagon. I'll give you a couple of updates before we finish, but basically this now is going to cut to probably 3 or 4 hours time. Then we'll have a go at that wheat field there. Wish me luck. And so some time later, the swather's nearly finished doing its job. The forage wagon is maybe done optimistically about 1/3 of the field. So all we've got to do is get this last line done, and then the forage wagon will bash on for another hour, hour and a half maybe, and get all this grass picked up and over to the fermenter. There it goes with its last line. When it gets to the top, the swather will be finished and we can transfer it over to the other grass field. Right, there we go, very last bit. So now we're going to take this up to the farm. Drop this header off. Like so. And now this unit then needs to go back to the shop to get the other grass header, which has the conditioner on it, which is the one we're going to use on that field on our right, and the reason for that will become apparent shortly. So we'll just pick this up. Take this back to the smaller of the two grass fields, where we can leave it for the moment while we finish doing our foraging work. And while we get the wheat off this field here. And here we are back in the forage wagon. As you can see, we've done that bit, that to go, so it's still a fair old amount to pick up. So I will carry on and update you again shortly. And here we are, finally, about 3.5 hours later. We are at the end of the field, and rather annoyingly, look at the amount that's going to leave on the field when I'm full. Oh, seriously. Okay, well, I'm not going to leave it. I'll get this dropped off and I'll come back for that little bit at the end. Okay, so it was only a tiny little bit, 5% of my load that was left, but it was more the principle of the matter than anything else. Let's jump out and have a look. Okay, so we have got 1.1 million litres of silage. There's still 260,000 litres of grass to work through, so that's about 1.36, we'll call that. So I'm thinking on that basis we will keep the 360. So we need to sell 1 million litres of silage, and that will get our coffers back up. In the meantime, we can start thinking about the wheat field. Let's just give this a quick wash down and then we'll decide what we're going to do with the silage. Okay, so it looks like there's very little in it. Animal dealers closest, so animal dealer it is. Let's start sending these up there. We'll put a couple on AI workers and then we can take the third up. And then what we'll do is we'll start setting the combine up for the wheat field, and that'll be the next job. Okay, everybody's on their way. The New Holland's obviously taking the forage wagon, which has a much bigger load and is therefore slower. And this other trailer is on the Valtra, which is much less powerful than the John Deere, so looks like the John Deere is going to win in a straightforward sprint. Oh, especially if he does that. Okay, so let's have a look, see what sort of amount of money we can expect from a full load of silage into the animal dealer here. So we are looking at 17.7. Excellent. That will start to add up. Sort these two out. Poor old Valtra's struggling a little bit with this weight, but still doing the job. Okay, let's offload. %, 25%, and again 17.7. Let's do the New Holland. This should be a bit more, obviously it's a bigger trailer. Looks nice and shiny and clean now we've washed it down. Okay, so there we go, moment of truth. So the forage wagon load is 22.7. Right, rinse and repeat. We'll move about 1 million litres up here, get it sold, and then see what we're going to do with this wheat field. Right, let's get this at least in the right vicinity of the field it's going to be doing. Let's turn the header the right way around, otherwise it's going to be a nightmare to be attached, or at least park it on the right side of the road. Get the header attached. Nice square field, so we don't really need to worry too much about any objects getting in our way, any fences or trees or hedges or whatever. Whoa. We'll not be wanting that, we'll be wanting some of that. It's not done it. Yeah, there we go. We definitely want our straw swath. We need the straw. Because we're going to need it for our cow empire. Okay, let's just put a worker on that for the moment, because like I say, there's no objects down the outside, so hopefully it'll be fine. Let's just go and sort out what our silage trailers are doing. I think the answer is they're waiting for us. Okay, So I think we've transported about a quarter of it so far, maybe a bit more with these 3 loads, maybe a third. As you can see, the money is slowly ticking in the right direction, which is good, because we are going to need, I think, to do some substantial spending in the not too distant future. We obviously need to sort out how our come on, Pops, get your words together. We obviously need to sort out our entire cow empire, which will give us our butter and our milk as important ingredients of our cake. As part of that, we're going to need to know, we need to learn for a start and set up how to make TMR to feed the cows with, as they're dairy cows, and we're going to need a lot of silage, so which is why we're keeping our 300,000 litres in the silo, and a lot of hay and a lot of straw. Hay is coming off the other grass field, straw is coming off the wheat field that we've just started, but we are imminently going to need somewhere to store our hay and straw, so before we can start collecting the straw off the field, that is going to be the next thing we need to think about. But for the moment, we will crack on with the silage deliveries and get the money in the bank. Just quickly diverted one of the trailers away from silage work, just to empty the grain out of the combine, which has ground to a halt. Remind ourselves how much this fills this up. I think it's 25%, isn't it? I think there's 4 loads of grain to every trailer load. So the combine was filled by about just under 2. Yeah, that's going to be quite a few combine loads. And again, it's going to be a bit of a mammoth job collecting the straw. But we'll cross that bridge once we've sorted the silage. And Mr. Combine and AI worker, if you'd kindly stop with your auger out on a full tank, that would be very helpful. Okay, back to the silage. So we're getting there, the money's going up. We are just going to move this out of the way a second. back for that in a second. Let's just send the forage wagon on its way again. Ooh. Let's try that again. Send that one back up. Just for the moment, we just need to borrow the Valtra because we have our very first load of wheat off the field. The trailer is full. So we'll just drag this back to our own silo for the moment, I think. In fact, no. We'll take it to the grain mill. Then we know it's there. Stop. Missed. Try that again. Come on, little Valtteri, you can do this. Change my mind again, we're going back to our own silo. We can move it around later when we've got a bit more time. For the moment, the priority is to keep everything moving. Another tractor coming back in the distance for some more silage. $37,000 litres in there. Gives us another 6 months with the ducks and the geese. Yeah, 190. I think we probably only need to do another one load into there, and the rest we can be sending to the grain mill. Maybe 2 or 3 loads and the rest selling. Let's get this trailer back up on the field. And then the harvester can be on its merry way. Okay, so that's the combine going again. Let's put the trailer somewhere in the middle. So we'll do. We need the Valtra back. Back to silage work. Right, so last couple of loads on the silage. We need to get this forage wagon down to the wheat field. Start collecting straw. %, nearly there. Boom. Okay, let's get this down to the wheat field. And we'll get this one emptied. This will give us our final money total for this session. Right, so we are looking at $1 million. And 72,000. This is good. This is what's going to pay for our hayloft and our TMR mixer and our cow shed and our cows. So next jobs, obviously keep combining the field, wheat field. We need to get the straw off the wheat field. We need to cut the smaller grass field and get it made into hay. And of course, before we do any of that, we're going to need some sort of home that the hay and the straw can live in. And then once we've done that, we'll have hay, straw, silage. Then we need to talk about cows. But all of that is for episodes to come. Thank you very much for sticking with me. Be good, stay safe, and I will see you all again very soon.